So just so you know that you're in the right place, this is the Turn Your Wellness session into a career. So that's something that you're either currently doing or you want to be doing. And that's why we're here today together. I'll give you a little introduction to me so you know who I am and a little bit about my background, and then we're going to dive in. This is going to be very experiential. We're going to go through 3 sections, which are the 3 main sections that I think that you need to master in order to turn your wellness session into a career. So we're going to have 3 experiential sections of this, where we're actually going to be doing stuff together. But before we do that, I'll tell you that I'm Dr. Gabby, and I've been a professor of holistic health for the last 10 years. I've taught at universities in New York, and California, and Portland, and Maryland, and all over the place. And I started out on my journey into wellness back in 1999-ish. I had completed my undergrad degree in psychology, and during one of the wellness fairs similar to this at my university, I met a reflexologist, and I met some energy healers, and I fell in love with the world of holistic medicine. And I decided that I wanted to do that as my career. So I went to massage school, I did some yoga teacher trainings, I did energy medicine training, I got all the certifications. And I started working in the industry, and I worked in drug and alcohol treatment centers, and I worked in hospitals, and I worked in yoga studios, and I worked in spas, and I worked in people's homes. I would go and do one-on-one work with them in their homes. And then I decided to do my dissertation and research about holistic medicine. So I interviewed the most incredible healers from all over the world, from South Africa, from Peru, and they were practicing all different kinds of medicine, like Ayurvedic medicine, Chinese medicine. And what we don't realize a lot of times growing up in the States is that we think that our medicine is the only medicine. It's not. Our medicine is 200 years old. It's a very, very new medicine, and there's so much benefit to our medicine. The technology is amazing, and we do have medicine when we need it, but there's medicine that is 5,000 years old. There's medicine of herbs and movement and getting connected to the cycles of nature. There's a whole different world of medicine that's much older than our medicine. So I studied that for a long time, I taught that for a long time, and then what I noticed was that so many of my students were graduating with degrees and certifications and wanting to do this work and wanting to bring their gifts into the world, but they didn't know how to do it. They didn't know how to build a business and do marketing and sales, and that's why you're here. That's why you're in the cell phone class learning how to take better pictures for Instagram, and that's why you're connecting with, other influencers and why you're studying what you're studying. And so you're in the perfect place for whatever you want to be doing right now. This is the perfect place for you to be. This is an amazing community. We heard about it yesterday. This is your tribe. These are the people that are going to support you and help you get where you're trying to go. And I'm going to try to add a little bit of that today. So there are 3 things that I think are critical in order for you to make this your career, or maybe for now it's a side hustle and then it becomes a full-time thing. The first thing that I think is really, really important, the first piece that's really, really important is clarity. Having crystal clear clarity about what you want to do. Now, a lot of people, they say, oh, I'm not sure, like I like, the beauty stuff, or I like the food stuff, but I'm not sure what that looks like. I'm not sure how I would do it, or where I would do it, or how I would build a business in it. So what we're going to do for this first segment is we're going to do an exercise in clarity and creating some more clarity. So what I want you to do is I want you to put everything down, put your feet on the floor, get in a comfortable position, just, relax, and get connected to your body and to your breath. Okay, would anybody be willing to share something they saw or heard or felt in the meditation? Go ahead.
So I'm an attorney, but I saw myself meeting legal professionals in wellness workshops, yoga classes. I'm also a yoga instructor, but
nice.
And I do that on a small scale, but it was kind of myself on a larger scale event, meeting people with a sense of calm.
Cool. That's really cool. Was it the first time that you saw that?
Yes, in a large scale.
Okay,
yeah.
Like a big venue,
yeah,
lots of
big
people.
Venue, lots of people, and they were just they were like eager to do it. And I practice law in Alabama, and like the yoga thing has not gotten down to Alabama yet.
Right.
So I kind of have to sell it a lot. But in my mind's eye, people were eager, they were wanting, they were curious, they were like, they realized the need for it. So that was
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done. Nice. Okay, great. Anybody else see anything interesting? Go ahead.
So I'm a health coach on the side,
Okay.
and my full-time job is in ad sales. And interestingly, recently I've been putting a ton of pressure on myself to find as many one-on-one clients as I can to make it into a full-time thing. And when we were doing that exercise, it was really enlightening for me because the one-on-one clients is not what excited me or brought me joy or what I saw. It was more like group coaching for young women and doing college or corporate talks, so like a much larger group of people, which I never really considered. So it was really interesting.
Okay, cool. And that felt really good?
Yeah.
Nice. That's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I think that sometimes when we tap into our unconscious or our subconscious, it has a little bit more clarity than what we have in our conscious minds. And that's why I think that meditation is a great way to cultivate creativity and creative thought and vision, because in our head, we take in the day-to-day stuff all the time. Like we're always like on the Instagram, on Facebook, and like doing the research, and sometimes it can make the mind really crowded and cloudy, and we might not get as much clarity there. Right.
It's like
Absolutely. I'm a huge advocate of community.
Yeah.
I have a community of mentoring and coaching that I do online that people join, and we have calls every week, and that's exactly the feeling and the mindset, which is we're in this together, right? Like you can be a health coach, and you can be a yoga teacher, and you can,
we can all have success.
Yeah. And that's an abundance mentality that's different from a scarcity mentality.
Yeah.
Scarcity is there's 7 beans and we each get a bean, and if you have my bean, then I don't get a bean, and that's old school. That's not the world that we're living in. We know that when we go to the bookstore, we buy all the books. We buy all the whales. We don't just buy like one book and then we never buy a book again. And that's the way that the consumers are. They're going to go to your yoga class, and they're going to go to the event at the college. Like they're going to do all of these things.
And not everybody's going to align with everybody else,
Yes.
right? So you're going to find your niche, you're going to
Yes.
go to those people, and then expand your community with who you like appreciate
Yes.
and can learn from.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
I'm kind of, it's very similar to what she was saying. I am still getting my doctorate in physical therapy currently, but I'm also
Good luck.
yoga trainer, personal trainer, and so I've always been struggling. Like I did yoga and personal training first, and then went back to get my degree. So I was struggling on how to like connect it all, and had all these like, and my family always makes fun of me. Like I have all these great ideas, and then I'm like, but I don't know how to get from A to B, and I kind of saw like getting to my like long-term goal of like having like a one-stop shop for yoga and physical therapy and occupational therapy, kind of like blending the two worlds of medicine and more holistic approach. And it was more not just me doing it all. Like I don't know, it was funny. My best friend just graduated with her degree in OT, and I like, saw her there, and like she was supporting me. And then like like it was like seeing that it wasn't like, okay, you have to do all these certifications and all these things. Like you can kind of resource out and collaborate. Like she was saying, collaborate with people to make this vision that you have.
Awesome. Well, I already know that you're super ambitious because you're doing doctor work, and I do doctor work, and it was a nightmare. So I already know that you're very ambitious. So I'm sure that you can accomplish this. But this is the thing. Like even as we're raised in the education system, we're raised like you sit at your desk and you like hide your paper and you like memorize and write, and like it's not a collaborative environment. It's an environment that cultivates this individuality and this every man for himself, right? And you're competing for this grade and who's the highest in the class and whatever. So we're even conditioned in that environment to be very individualistic. So this is a step outside to come into this other world and to co-create things with people. It's different. We'll take one more and then I have another exercise. Go ahead.
So I got my DPT 7 or 8 years ago, and I have worked in hospitals for the last 7 or 8 years, and I'm like super burnt out and tired of like working in a broken system where people don't want to like don't want to take care of themselves, and they just want like a quick fix. And we do a lot of education, as you know, and so it's like you feel like you're spinning your wheels a lot of the time. So I just did a yoga teacher training over the summer, and then now I'm doing a holistic nutrition training
Nice.
to also like bring a little more of a holistic approach to the medical background. But also feeling like I'm at this crossroads, like I'm taking so many steps now toward like
Right,
something different.
right.
But it's so hard because I feel like I'm forging my own path and I don't have something to compare it to and like, take from. So anyways, I'm like super into nutrition and I've just always dreamt about writing a cookbook, but just never thought that like it would ever happen.
Right.
So when you were talking about an award, I was like, I wrote a cookbook. And that was like very exciting.
Yes.
That's right, you're 50. Because you
Yeah.
wanted to do everything pretty heavy.
Oh, I'm 33.
This is definitely a warrior path. Like the fact that you're in this room, you're wellness warriors. You guys could have a much easier path if you went and became an accountant or mailman or something else. This is a warrior path, and this is an entrepreneurial path. And that's the path of figuring out on a day-to-day, like, what are my priorities? What am I supposed to do? Who do I connect with? How do I do this? It's a path where you have to figure out a lot of that stuff. But again, now that you're part of a tribe, you have people in here who've been working in wellness for many, many years, and you're connected to them, and you can tap into that. You can get that support, and that's why we're here, and that's why we're presenting. So this is a good segue to the next section. The next most important thing, in my opinion, if you're going to do this work, is confidence. Now, confidence, I believe that confidence is counterintuitive. I believe that we think we have to get confidence and then we do the thing. I don't believe that to be true. I believe you do the thing and then the confidence shows up. It meets you there because you've taken the risk to get outside your comfort zone. I firmly believe you've got to get outside your comfort zone for the confidence to show up and for it to expand and grow bigger, which is what we're doing. We're trying to build those confidence muscles. So I want you to write down 3 things that would take you one step further. It doesn't have to be like, the big thing, like the cookbook, but 3 things that will take you one step further to the vision, whatever the vision is, that are uncomfortable, okay? Whatever the 3 things are that you write down, it's got to give you butterflies in your stomach. It's got to be like, okay, cookbook. Well, there was the woman who was moderating the panel yesterday who's written all the best-selling cookbooks. So maybe something that's uncomfortable is to reach out to her and say, hi, I want to write a cookbook and I have a conversation with you about how you wrote your cookbooks. Now that might feel weird, right? Like what, like she's gonna think I'm weird, like it's a cold email, like this is just awkward. That's the thing you write down on the list. Like whatever the thing is that gives you a little bit of butterflies, a little bit of discomfort. So pick 3 things. I'll give you like a few minutes so if you don't have it right now. Think about the vision. 3 things that are doable: an email, a phone call, applying to speak at an event, organizing something at your hospital, your college, your office that feels a little bit uncomfortable. 3 things.
Inhale, reach. Exhale, down. One more time. Inhale, reach. Exhale, down.
You guys got amazing energy. It looks like something. Wow, some exciting people in the room. Okay, what was that like? Who wants to share? Who wants to share? Go ahead.
I came here with absolutely no idea what I was doing at all, like with my life. And I didn't even know if I should be coming to this summit because I just recently started accepting wellness into my life within the last couple of years. But as I was telling my 2 new friends, I'm going through a time of transition from a job working in restaurants as a cook for the last 10 years and like counting out, masochistic lifestyle. And then I moved to a farm, met my husband, just had my first child. So it kind of, that would have been the dream for me then, like getting married, having a baby, moving on to a farm. But now that I'm here, I'm totally lost. I kind of lost my sense of identity, and I couldn't figure out, I knew I wanted to do something, but I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do. And I was surprised through the exercise and just talking it out, I realized like, it makes sense. Like I could still have a family, like we were talking about, with having a family and running a business, and I can still do food. and that's my business, at home with my children, you know, and I just never thought
What's
of
the
that before.
uncomfortable thing, give me one of the uncomfortable things you have to do to move this forward, did you?
Honestly, coming
something?
here was my uncomfortable, because I don't really talk about it a lot, and like, you know, when you were like, find someone you don't know and talk about it, I was like, oh god. I'm like, yeah, like, I really don't wanna do this, but I just took so much from talking, and, you know, it's incredible.
Amazing.
So I think the next, you know, my first step I would have said was coming here. The next step is, you know, accepting my new life and finding, you know, joy in what I'm doing and just,
Right.
you know.
I love that you mentioned the identity thing. Whenever we go through transition, there's a huge
Oh, yeah.
identity shift, and it can take a time for our identity to catch up with what we're actually doing. So it's like totally normal
Yeah.
to be in the in-between identity place.
Exactly.
Sure. I want to ask you, why did I make you do this? Why was this? Why did I take up half my session making you do this? Why?
To make it practical.
Because why? Practical? What else?
So we can say it aloud to multiple people.
And what does that do?
It makes it real in your head.
Builds confidence. What else?
It takes away the fear.
Takes away the
That's
fear.
actually not that scary. when I say
Okay.
that.
When it lives in your head in a dark corner, you know, and it doesn't come out, it can seem a lot more intimidating than it actually is. Anything else?
It makes you accountable.
Which is a great segue to my next thing, which is you come here. Okay, so accountability. So the third thing is consistency. The third C. So the first one was clarity, the second one was confidence, and the third one was consistency. You have to be consistent. Whatever it is that you're trying to do, you can't do it today, skip it tomorrow, the next, like, it's like with your diet, right? You eat a cookie today, you eat kale tomorrow, like, that doesn't work, What I've done is I've created an online community. We do live calls every week, where we have conversations, and it keeps you accountable. And this lovely lady, Tara, she is in my group. There's like 40 women in the group. There's different call times that you can call in. I want you to just give them a little bit because you're here and so that I can take advantage of that. I just want you to tell them a little bit about before we started working together, where you were at, and kind of the unbelievable leap that you made in the last few months. Tell them.
That's really true. So what you've just experienced here is is a small snippet of what we do together. So each week we talk about something different. And so when I started all this, I had an idea. I'm going to have a blog. I'm certified as a health coach for like 2 years, and I've done nothing with it. And I kind of don't know. I want to do this, but I don't know how. So I started to just, I'm just going to the nuts and bolts, get the blog up, get it going, and sort of like I had this snippet of an idea of like me doing all these different things, and I hurt my knee, I couldn't run, so I started doing new workouts. So it's like, oh, it's a fitness journey. It's part. Everyone goes through this at some point. You either don't know what to do because you're starting out, or you've been doing something for a long time and you need to shake it up. So that was like the beginning of like the light bulb that went off. And so I had this idea, and I started to write these to write to different studios and say, hey, can I come to your place? And then I'll write about it. And so that was how it started. And then I met Gabby, and I'm like, all right, so she's like, well, how are you going to do this? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, that was kind of just, I had the germ of the idea, and that was a great idea, but I needed to sort of expand, like, how am I going to monetize this? Like, because at the end of the day, at some point, I need to pay the bills, right? So it started like, so it's so funny because you just said, I just made a new friend, and it's right, like, the more you spread this word and you have these conversations with people, you realize that your community is bigger than you ever imagined, and that making friends with people and just talking to people and getting out there and speaking your truth, you end up making connections, and then you make these into business arrangements. So say, for instance, the first yoga studio I tried out in New Jersey, I went there and I wrote about it, put the blog, and then maybe a couple months later I said, hey, listen, I've been building content all summer. I noticed you don't have any workshops on food and nutrition in your place. Would you be interested in having me come and do some workshops? So he's like, absolutely. We'd love to have you do a series. And he's got 4 studios so far, and he's expanding. So I did my first workshop 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, and it was awesome. And getting up there and talking was so sad.
There's a packed room, and I just fell in love with her.
I said this, I told my personal story, and it's the minute before I recorded myself 3-4 times before I got there, and then the minute before I was about to do it, I looked for this and I'm like, I'm going to tell all these people my most personal, scary stuff. And I was like, are you crazy? And then I did it, and it felt so good. And then someone came up to me at the end, who sat in the back of me, and she's like, so many parts of your story are my story. Thank you for telling that. And just that one person connected, and that was like, and I'm sure other people did too, but we just happened to have a lot of things in common. It's like, wow, like that really helped someone today.
Now, why I want to meet Tara is because Tara is the perfect client, okay? She shows up every week on time for the call. She does not miss a call. If the kids are homesick, she's yelling at them and she's on the call at the same time. Everything she says she's going to do, she does. So when she had the idea, I want to do the workshop, she was like, I can't. And she had the email in the outbox for like weeks and weeks, and then she couldn't send the email.
She sent the email.
And then we kept like pushing her to send the email. She sent the email. They said yes. She set up, but she keeps showing up, and that's how it moves forward.
Right. And then you give me the homework, and I do it. Like if Gabby says to do something, I'm going to do it.
Yes.
Because that's who I am as a person, and it sounds like a lot of you that kind of people too.
Yes.
Because you've been in the corporate environment, or you are that person that has a really specific skill set. If someone gives you homework, you're going to do it.
Yeah. Right. And it's just being really clear about what that is.
And someone giving you the right homework, which is like, get out there and do that.
Right.
To that guy.
Right.
Or call him up and say, hey, do you want me to come in?
Right.
And
Well, we
so-
love you. Thank you for coming. Okay, so what is the right homework? So I wrote a book called Blissful Business. It's on Amazon. It's $10. These are little bookmarks this gives you a good starting place if you have zero idea where to start. It talks about how to get some clients, how to set up some workshops, how to set up your social media, like super basic stuff. This is like sort of ground level. If you want a resource, it's $9.99, you can get it. It's 100 pages of helpfulness, right? I also have a podcast, and I have a blog. It's on Huffington Post, it's on My Body Green, it's all over. Lots and lots of information that you can use and that you can apply just like the stuff that we did today. Then, if you're feeling super ambitious, like you really want to be part of a community that's ongoing, you can join Tara and me and the other ladies that are in the community. It's $99 a month, which means you come into a private forum. We have calls every week. You can join us on the calls. We can continue this development that we started today going forward, okay? I also offer free discovery calls for everybody in this room. I'm going to send you an email. I'm going to say, here's the link to my calendar. Click on the link, book a 20-minute discovery call with me. I'll talk to you about whatever you want to talk about, free of charge. You can throw your ideas off me. You can ask for any kind of advice. I'm available to all of you to do that kind of thing. And now, the last thing I want to do is just say, any last minute questions, comments, concerns, ideas that you want to throw out there?
Wait, what was the third? Was the third thing consistency or community?
Consistency. I mean, community, yeah, is what allows you to be consistent, in my opinion. Because there's so many things that I try to do on my own that they stay in my head and they stay scary and they never move forward, right? So, yes, consistency. Clarity, confidence, and consistency. Any other questions about anything? Okay. Thank you.